That's right. I am the fourth best person in the Dabbleverse officially. And if you don't believe me, just ask Dave Serra, the king of comedy. Exactly. And if that doesn't prove how fun I am, here's the first guest to confirm it. He's very nervous and he's under pressure for being around a star like me. Uh, Christian, how are you doing today?
You know, the crazy thing is, Hughezy, I'm not even supposed to be here today. It's
This
like the
guy's
movie.
fucking. Yeah,
Come on, it's like the movie.
yeah, I haven't seen it.
Oh,
Well, speaking of feeling underperforming shows, this next guest only has about 2, 3 successful shows, and none of them get nominated in the top four of the precious Dabbleverse Awards that actually mean something. It's the great Cayley. How are you doing today?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I feel like shit. You
Yeah.
wouldn't believe how bad I feel. I'm actually veering on mental health problems. But speaking of which, you don't have to be crazy to come on here, but it helps. This is a good stuff. This is great stuff. We were recording a couple of hours ago. The great trucker Andy. Andy, how are you doing today?
Snoochie Boochies, you feel the way I look. Glad to be here.
I don't know what that means. So there is a poll in the chat that's always exciting for people to be involved with. Is does Kevin Smith stink? And the options are yes, no, and oh my god, that's usually number 4 in the Dabbleverse. It's just the effect it has on people. I was out last night and everyone was going, "Are you really Hughezy from the Dabbleverse?" And I said, "Yes, it's me." But I'm always friendly to black people. Don't you worry about that. Uh, so today's topic, what we've got is Kevin Smith. Now, weirdly, this is the first director that we've roasted or spoken about that I actually have worked with. Not many people know I actually do know him, and I used to do a lot of work for his YouTube channel back in the day until they randomly shut me down overnight and started up their own YouTube channel. But thankfully, it was bigger when I did it, and I made shitloads, which I have kept saved up in a bank account and still haven't touched it.
That's the joke.
So, once again, that's another win for the H-Man. Hit the like button for bragging. Cayley, generally, what is your personal opinion of old Kevin Smith?
You qualified it in the correct way. Old Kevin Smith was incredible. I mean, this was a huge, huge boon to my movie watching adventures as a young lass. I loved Mallrats. I loved being able to see Dogma. It completely changed my world. It was talking about film in a way that we hadn't really done, or at least I hadn't really seen.
But just to agree with your point, this person says I'm top 3, so I think that proves that I was listening.
Yes.
But Andy, what would your opinion be? And honestly, I thought I sent the link to Six Pack Joe.
Yeah, he's busy right now. So I'm just pinch hitting. But Kevin Smith was very informative to a lot of people that wanted to feel like they could take their careers into their own hands and bootstrap movie making. So I also have roots in New Jersey, where Kevin Smith is from. My parents grew up in what I call Kevin Smith, New Jersey, Red Bank, Atlantic Highlands. I have been to, I've met Brian, I've met Walt, I've met all the guys from Comic Book Men. In Chasing Amy, where they're sitting out front after Jason Lee's character catches Ben Affleck's character in bed with the lesbian, and then they're sitting in front of Jack's Music. I bought a bass guitar from that music store. So I used to really have an affection for Kevin Smith's movies. And unfortunately, I evolved into losing a lot of respect for Kevin Smith's work. But the early stuff is beloved to me, especially Dogma, Clerks, Mallrats, to a lesser degree, Chasing Amy. And then it just kind of progressively goes downhill for me.
What other big celebrities have you met?
I I didn't know there was
We're
going to be
young.
so much bragging in this episode. Hughezy with his top 3, Andy with his New Jersey roots. Good God, man. I feel so humbled.
Yeah. Don't be jealous. I spent a lot of time in New Jersey.
But he did a thing, Kevin Smith, where he really sort of, well, maybe not inspired, but he was part of that culture of people who just started making these low budget films where people just hang out and talk all day. Like here's a film about the day in the life of a convenience store. Or that there's this Richard Linklater film. I'd love to kick his arse if I seen him, despite my injuries. Here's a film about these people who hang outside the convenience store all fucking night, and it's called Suburban or something like that. And it is so shite. And let me tell you something about that film. I remember, not to name names, but a cunt that I used to be with. She was away for the weekend with her cunt friends. Not that I have a problem with them. So I thought, right, I'm going to order a pizza and not get judged for eating it in the living room with my shirt off, and I'm going to rent Suburbia off fucking Amazon Prime. So I did, and the pizza was stinking. I felt like shit, and I couldn't believe how bad Suburbia was. Then I get so pissed off with Cayley specifically, and I'll hold this against you forever. That fucking bitch publicly celebrated the film Empire Records. You're scum, and you can go fuck yourself. But I didn't let it get to me personally.
Why would
What a
you?
story.
Yeah. So basically, I don't like some of those films.
I ate a bad pizza once. Terrific. Yeah, Slacker sucks too. I don't like that one.
So does Dazed and Confused.
Yes. Agreed.
How-
Hughezy, we're back to being friends.
Yeah, well, this is actually me and Cayley hanging out outside the Slackers screening one night.
It's
Look at the
true.
tits
I'm
on
in
her.
the white.
Jesus Christ. And not for the first time, am I right? This is good stuff. We're having a great episode. But Christian, you've met all kinds of stars. Have you met Kevin Smith? And generally, what is your opinion of him?
So, in general, I was a huge fan. I have a T-shirt from like 25 years ago from the original Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash, when Jay Muse would actually work there sometimes. I loaned him money to go. I bought a pack of cigarettes for him, and you know what? He never actually bought them for me. And Mick is right. Empire Records does think. But you know. Can any day be Rex Manning Day? If any day is Rex Manning Day, the answer is no. So, but I'm a huge fan. You know, again, there might be some diminishing returns, some ebbs and flows, but you know, he sort of comes in at that time where, like you're saying, Hughezy, people are just talking about things in the way that they don't usually do in movies. So, you know, it comes a couple years after Reservoir Dogs when they're sitting there in the diner talking about whether or not Madonna's a whore. Spoiler alert, she is. And, you know, and just the whole thing about, you know, contractors working on the Death Star, so preposterous. But, you know, for those of you out there who were nerds, unlike me, who, of course, was a cool guy in high school and college, believe it or not. But for them, they had their guy. There was like, oh, my God, he talks like us. You know, the Trucker Andys of the world finally had their guy.
37 cocks. Yes, I say that all the time.
Yeah, actually.
Oh, about the movie. I thought you were talking about Cayley. That I was like, that's really rude.
It's
was
just
weird.
general soundbite.
Andy does say that all the time, and I was like, this is my mum's eulogy. What the fuck are you doing? Weirdo. This guy's right. Andy is live, and not only am I live, if you replace the K in that V, it says like. Hit the like button and give massive financial donations and buy the biggest gifted memberships you can. You're all great people out there. It means a lot to me, and I respect you all. Yes. So somebody made a good point where they said that much like people who dated Harvey Weinstein, they didn't date well. What great stuff. This is some Clerks 3 level comedy we're having right now. And that is true, that a lot of his stuff is kind of like, it reminds me a lot of like that new metal crap or some. Oh God, Cayley's coughing. It's fucking disgusting. Jesus Christ. She accidentally turned the You accidentally
Is it
turned the volume the way up there, and we're like, "Oh, I can hear you throat." Hit the like button for Flem.
Well, that's why Hughezy just came.
That wasn't come.
Oh,
But
yikes.
well, I told you not to.
so
But
bloody?
yeah, well, it was a big night. But the thing is, it's with these films is that a lot of them have aged badly, and not just like joke content and storyline wise. Like when we get the Mallrats, it's like I went from we'll get to that in a point, but that one I think is specifically aged the worst. But the one that is aged the most, great joke, is the first one. In fact, we get 2 super chats before we begin. From at Hunter Duke, thanks for the 5. Yes, Kevin Smith sucks a lot after Jay and Bob Strikes Back. Also, how he screwed over Brian and Walt. Him and his talentless daughter can kick rocks. Tell me more about how he screwed over Brian and Walt. I've heard some stories about Smith screwing people over, and it wouldn't shock me. But hit the like button while you're telling me. And this silly idiot, Raper Butt. You know, that sounds like a funny name when you think about it.
Wait, in what way is that? In what way is that name funny, Hughezy? Can you explain it?
Because it sounds like he's saying gay.
Oh, no wonder Cayley always laughs.
Yes. Gaper, but oh wait, I know what it means now. Jesus, he stinks. Have you ever heard of Oasis? I have. The greatest band of all
Hughezy,
time.
I have to tell you this. Raper Butt and I work together, and the amount of times that Raper Butt and I mention Oasis in passing and then talk about you immediately after is way too much. You're very loved here because of your love of Oasis.
Thank you.
Yes.
Is he white?
I answer no more questions about Raper Butt.
Listen, she said she's friends with him, so I think you have your answer, okay?
And here's what like beef trip. An excellent name. Beef trippings. Thanks for the toll. Hughezy is C tier. Blind Mike. I'm awesome. Big up, Andy. There you go, Andy.
So you're a C-level blind Mike. By the way, I found a couple of photos that I was very distracted as we were starting because I was trying to find them because I knew they were on my hard drive. So there I am, the day that I bought J Muse cigarettes. You can go ahead and say which one of us looks worse. I think we all know it's the one on heroin, but this is 1997. Yeah.
I have a big crush on Jason Mewes.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that you have a big crush on skinny, dorky me, but
Yes.
I should have known better.
That mighty Boston.
And that's my friend
Aw.
my friend Dan, who Hughezy has been on my podcast with outside. The video store isn't there anymore, but at this point it was. So yeah, the walking tour of New Jersey involves going to places throughout Leonardo, and yes, I was a huge fan to the extent that I almost watched Yoga Hosers. I don't want to get ahead of us, but eventually you got to draw the line. And I hung on for a long time, you know, like when your favorite band puts out like 6 shitty albums, but you're like, yeah, but they're still great.
Oh yeah, I'm a battered girlfriend. I keep going back and watching everything that he does and wondering if it's ever going to get good again.
Yeah, I'm the same with M. Night Shyamalan, which proves that I'm woke because he is curry. I mean, Asian American or whatever you call that.
Well, his daughter's actually your favorite member of his family.
Yeah,
Because she's the talented one.
so it's so great to see Down syndrome actors, even if they don't actually have the diagnosis. And it's also funny to point and laugh at them. But the thing is, it was so surreal when I used to do all the YouTube stuff for him because on a bad day you would get like 150,000 views, and I was like this is a gold mine. Why would you ever want to stop it and start on your own? But then again, I always get my own way in the end. That's why I got to number 4 in the precious Dabbleverse Awards. Not that I'm going to bring that up. But we were speaking, of course, about his debut, Clerks from 1994, which is 30. Okay, somebody else can do the math for me. 31 years.
It sounds about right.
Hit the like button 31 times. So, Cayley, we're going to let you start. What did you think of 1994's Clerks?
You know, I spent a long time not really appreciating this movie. I think that I saw it a little bit too late. And then after watching it a few times is when I finally started getting it. And everybody, whenever I say that to them, they're like, "What do you mean you didn't get it?" I think it's too much arguments about pop culture and too little happening. And I was bored by that. And now I get the genius of it. And now I understand the psychology of what makes it so exciting and interesting. It feels so incredibly authentic. It feels bereft of any like limitations that exist within the studio system. And I think that that was what Kevin Smith did so good in these early films.
What do you think, Christian?
Yeah, I think that I think it's safe to say that Kevin Smith peaked with this one, but I still like the next batch. But I think that this was, at least script wise, not production value wise, and perhaps not performance wise, but this was his best all around movie because of the advice that he got to remove the scene at the end where Robert comes in and shoots Dante behind the cash register, which is in the deleted scenes on, excuse me, on the laser disc. I actually don't know about other media because I like to refer to the oldest media possible. And just the way that it ends, where Randall throws him the apron and the Soul Asylum song starts over the credits. It's like, oh, okay, it ends on an up note, but it would have otherwise ended on a really down and inexplicable note where the shooter is also a terrible performance. It's one of their friends, but I forget who it is. So I think it manages to be this fun movie with just all this bullshit that happens. And I think it's because of the nothing that happens. Remember, there was a show called Seinfeld at this time, and we were really big in things about nothing. And you want to say nothing happens. There's a guy who dies in the restroom and gets fucked by Dante's ex-girlfriend, and he has a steel rod as he's being taken out by the ambulance. That's all I need in any movie.
That's good writing. Trucker Andy can read out this nice free comment, which would have been hilarious with a £500 donation. But Andy, why don't you read this comment before giving us your Clerk's opinion?
No, I would love to. Yes, Cayley, try not to suck any dick on your way through the parking lot. But I would argue that you should. But that's
it depends on the parking lot.
I didn't write that. I didn't write that comment. But I'll be in that parking lot. I think that Clerks is amazing because it is a guy that is making shit happen. This is a guy that's getting out there and doing it. He's maxing out credit cards to finance this and putting people that are giving him money in the movie, whether they're actors or not. And it is a guy that is passionate about making movies, and that's the charm of it. And that's why you can ignore the low budget. And we talked a lot about with the Edgar Wright series that I did about fandom as a personality, and the fact that Edgar kind of saw Kevin Smith doing that and started doing it better. And I think that Kevin Smith inspired a lot of people to make a lot of shitty things, but this particular thing is inspired and good. And that's what happens with a lot of things that get ripped off. The Matrix bullet time thing has been done to death, but when it was done the first time, it was amazing. So that's kind of the roots of indie filmmaking and Clerks and Gen X kind of let's just sit around and talk, whether it's good or not. But I happen to love Clerks. I still do. I'd put it on right now and enjoy it. And I love.
All right, let's do that. Go ahead and put it in the small
roll
screen,
the tape.
By the way,
I do love Jason Mewes as well. Sorry,
Jason
Mewes, to wrap it up.
Jason Mewes is phenomenal, and when we did an episode of my podcast about the Clerks animated series, I was reminded how Randall has like the perfect voice. And I'm surprised that guy didn't get more voiceover work. I don't know how much on-screen work he would have needed. But the one through line through all of Kevin Smith's work, from Clerks all the way on through to today, almost 30 years later, is that you can always tell that, oh, this is a guy who did a semester of film school and says, don't worry, I got it. I'm good. I don't need any more film school. I've learned everything I need to learn.
But the thing about Clerks is, yeah, I guess it's funny, but for me, it's visually aged so badly, a bit like Harvey Weinstein, who Kevin Smith pretended to know nothing about. All this time, he woke up one day and goes, "Wait, what? I don't believe you."
It was a Bob Weinstein guy.
Yeah, bobbing on titties. I've seen Kevin Smith's performance in Die Hard 4, the good one, and he ain't no actor. Roasted. So that'll teach him for talking shit.
He doesn't speak in the movies for a reason.
Which, by the way, is something I hate. Like, I get that he's called Silent Bob, but it's like, yes, but why? Because he can't speak. So why doesn't he speak? And it doesn't make any logical story sense that this guy, especially in the later ones, was trying to give you information, and he won't say that the car went that way. He'll go,
Oh, yeah.
and they go, no, that's fucking stupid. Tell me where the fucking car went, you fat fuck. Why have you got a mullet and a bald spot? You pick one or the other. You don't fucking do both at the same time, cunt. I'm not a fan of him. But on the Clerks X DVD, yes, I used to buy physical media, and I still do, but I used to as well. That's a joke that I just made up right there on the spot. Never been done before.
Very good.
There's a documentary called The Snowball Effect, which sounds like cum when you think about it. It's good stuff. Hit the like button for cum. And the documentary is almost like a thriller because it's about how this guy was like, had all these dreams and ambitions, and he struggled to make his way at doing anything. So he, as Christian mentioned, raised up all this money to make this independent film, which meant he would either have $27,000 in debt and work in this convenience store for the rest of his life for real, or it would have propelled him into a Hollywood career. And it really is interesting to see it is worth that kind of a risk to take that kind of a leap. The only thing that really stands out about this film, though, was the song Berserker.
Yeah.
Would you like to suck my cock, Berserker? Better than the Isotopes. I'm just saying. Speaking
don't
of
even have
stupid
any
things that
music.
don't
Ugh.
speak,
Yes. By the way, Hughezy, would you like some making fuck? I think it's an important question that song does ask. By the way, speaking of the Clerks X DVD, he did a signing here in Los Angeles, and the line was so long, he kept signing until 5:30 in the morning. And I was one of the last ones, and I thanked him, and I said that I'll never badmouth any of your movies because you stayed up all night. But I might be going against that as this goes along.
Yeah, what movie was out at that time that you made that promise?
This was like 20 years ago, so not. I don't even know if Cop Out was out yet.
Okay.
only a Jersey Girl, the director's cut, thank God. Hit the like button for Jersey Girl.
Well, let's wait till we get to Jersey Girl.
I can't wait. This was we then followed up Clerks a year later with the film called Mallrats. And I have to admit, I gotta go first on this one. This one I've done a complete 180 on because when I was younger, I absolutely loved this film. I thought it was hilarious, watched it all the time. Then in around 2010, I finally get a job in the media where I get a job as an editor. And I've got I'm sharing an office and I'm in the trendy part of the city. And I'm thinking, this is amazing. I'm finally got a foot in the door. And slightly up the street, there was this area where all these like alcoholics and stoners would hang out. And it sort of made me realize, oh, look at these fucking bums. Go get a job. How could you not be bored shitless sitting around all day? And then I remember
you were there alone though.
Yeah. Then watching Mallrats again. After that, I realized I fucking hate the two guys in this, and you can sort of understand Ben Affleck's dude bro character. Yeah, well, fucker, yes. And I thought,
who's your favorite new kid? Call me Donnie. Call me Joe.
Yeah. Well, to answer your question, it is Donnie. He was the bad boy, and he can sing.
Yeah.
What else could you want?
Of horse.
I
my
mean,
God.
come on.
What am
Which
I
one are you
doing
going
with
to
my
pick,
life?
Cayley? You pick
Jesus
Jordan
Christ,
Knight?
I quit podcasting right now because of this conversation that's happening.
Hit the like button for Donnie Wahlberg's performance in The Sixth Sense. But yeah, I've grown to despise Mallrats, and the fact that this guy went from being like the indie comedy guy to the most slapsticky shit, and also and this is ironic comes from me because I can't stop saying cunt, but I noticed in this film it had the most pointless over swearing ever, where for no reason people just say fuck, like the guy wants to see over there by the fucking stage. It's like, why'd you say that for? I want to see you by the fucking stage.
Have any of you ever had the pleasure of watching the version of Mallrats that was re-edited for broadcast television here in the U.S., where they had to loop all of Jason Mewes' lines? They gave him a different voice because he swore so much that they were going to have to change so many words that they just gave him a new voice. And it's not, I mean, if you think that the version that you've watched has not held up, I invite you all to the treat that is the TV broadcast of Mallrats.
Yeah, I have not only seen that, but I've also seen the director's cut that he released that even he admitted was a disaster, because when Kevin Smith made this film, it was just all big long takes. He didn't understand that you need to get different angles and coverage. So he wrote a film that bombed, and I've grown to hate it. And it exposed to the fact that he didn't really know what he was doing. And do you remember there was the time in it where there was the girl trying on the underwear on the floor of the shop, and it's like, is that because you've got a joke, or you think she's really good looking, and she was, and you got to see part of her arse, guys?
We got to see her. We got to see her tits too. I think that's the important part. Don't forget that, Hughezy.
Well, she was the director's girlfriend
yeah,
at the time.
Yeah, was she his girlfriend at the time, or was that him trying to get her as his girlfriend?
I think he Weinsteined her after this movie. And
well,
but it's okay because he Bob Weinsteined her.
Yeah. Well, remind me to tell you about that when it gets to Dogma. Andy, what did you think of Mallrats? Hit the like button.
I think Mallrats came out at the right time for me. I liked that it was a plussed up version. You know, he had a budget now, so he was able to do a little bit more with it. I like that it gave us more Jay, because I do find Jason Mewes and the character of Jay to be very entertaining, especially when you're kind of that age and think that swearing equals jokes. And this gave us Jason Lee. This made me aware of Jason Lee. And even though he did go on to become a Scientologist and make a lot of dog shit things, his performance in this is beloved to me. I really enjoy that kind of elitist comic book. And I mean, I'm not like this, but I think it's a funny character. I think his performance in that role is very funny. And then he goes on to basically do it again in Chasing Amy. But between Jason Lee and Jay, this movie is watchable to me.
Are you trying to say you didn't like Jason Lee and Alvin and the Chipmunks 2, the squeakquel?
Yeah, right. Yes, I did say he made a lot of bullshit, but he also
he's a lot better in Alvin and the Chipmunks 3, Chipwrecked. I think you have to really respect the titles of these films.
Yeah, no spoilers, please. I'm waiting on the 4K for Christmas. Cayley, what did you think of Mallrats?
I loved Mallrats, and I still love Mallrats. I think that it is just silly and fun, and yeah, maybe it's juvenile in a lot of ways that I should have outgrown, but I don't care at all. I remember when this movie, probably not too long after it came out, my dad came up to me and he said, I watched the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, I need to watch that movie now. And it was Mallrats. And I fell in love with it. And I still, I to this day, I think it's hilarious.
Well, if you want to say hilarious, there's a thing online where they did a cast reunion for a live Q&A. And little did we know that Jason Lee, and is it Jeremy London?
Yes, this one's Jeremy. Jason's the other one. Yes.
They hated each other during the making of Mallrats, and they still didn't get along in all those years later. So the tension was unbelievable, and I loved how awkward that was. And speaking of people who hate each other, Christian, what did you think of Mallrats, or did I already ask you?
You haven't asked me. So when Mallrats came out, I was 19 years old, so it was perfect, the perfect timing. And I do think that the movie would have had more of a chance to be successful if it had come out a few years later after, say, like Something About Mary, because the whole point was we don't get R-rated comedies anymore, because we certainly didn't. And then we got a wave of them. And this was a little bit far ahead of the wave. It's not a great movie, but Andy, I am going to make sure that when I see you at a Hackamania, that I'm going to offer some of my chocolate-covered pretzels to you, and it's going to be hilarious the way that ruins your whole weekend, because I know that's your favorite scene in the movie. But it is stupid, and I know the longer cut you're speaking of. He at least had the sense that, oh, this movie's called Mallrats. Let's start the movie when they like go to the mall. And I loved the universe building, because it's like the girl whose funeral they go to in Clerks, they are talking about how she died in this. And, Brian O'Halloran is playing Dante's cousin, who looks an awful lot like him, except he's in color. And I loved the world building, that became fun to me. And I get it. But I'm 100% with Cayley. This movie is very stupid. I have not watched it in a while. I'm not going to lie, but it still makes me laugh when I think about it. The Jay and Silent Bob parts, but to me, the thing that nobody's talked about is how great Stan Lee is in this. This is before he used to show up in 3 movies a year. We hadn't really gotten him in a movie before this. And, Kevin Smith wrote this, he's like, oh, I'm going to have like a Stan Lee style character in here. And then he got the real one. And I think he's great. How Brody just keeps asking him about like how big the thing's cock is, or the Hulk's cock, or all the cocks really.
Well, it is interesting. Hit the like button. Can I tell you my idea for a Stan Lee cameo that is so brilliant that I should be celebrated even more than I was last night at the Dabbleverse Awards?
Where did you come in? Did you come in 5th?
4th. Speaking of Marvel,
gosh.
I was the fantastic 4th, which means that I'm the best. So I would have had Stan Lee turn up as a caretaker at school in a Spider-Man film after he got the abilities, and have him go, "Hello, Spider friends," and for Peter Parker to turn and go, "What the fuck," and he's like a caretaker cleaning away a spider's web, and it would have been hilarious. Look at Cayley, she's cracking up over there. These jokes are fucking great.
It's amazing.
Right now, Cayley's thinking, why was this guy not 3rd, maybe even 2nd? She knows you're not the best, but you should have been 2nd or 3rd.
You were robbed.
Yes, it was robbed. No, Lemmy, we have not got the Tusk yet. We'll save that for the Fleetwood Mac round table. What a great joke. Everybody gets these jokes. But as you can see, Lemmy is a member, generously members. So everybody, gift memberships. I've got about 10 million members. I'm the king of the world. As Jake Hudson, speaking of a stinkfist, and joking, Jake. Doing great. So Mallrats was a huge bomb, almost a career-damaging bomb. So it was 1997 until his next one, and Smith went back to the very low-budget filmmaking style with 1997's Chasing Amy, which ironically is something that Harvey Weinstein did to his secretary, Amy. Christian, what did you think of Chasing Amy?
Chasing Amy is a little bit more of a return to form for him. And you're talking about how it's low budget, and that's by choice, because the big studio version of this would have starred David Schwimmer and Drew Barrymore, I think. That's who they said, you can make this movie if you put them in it. And he's like, no, I'm just going to make it like with my friends for very little money. And whatever you think of this movie, you cannot tell me that David Schwimmer, and we'll leave Drew Barrymore out of it, David Schwimmer would not have made this movie better in any way.
No.
But obviously I think that, he was trying to deal with some mature topics, and in 1997, I guess, it was easy to talk about lesbian issues in the way of well, why don't you just fuck both of us and then we see what happens? And that should be a drop, Hughezy. But in any case, I thought it was an oddly sweet story, even though it's very misguided at times. This is some of my favorite Jay and Silent Bob is the one scene that they have in the diner because they start explaining likeness rights and character payments. So, that's what every good comedy needs. But I thought that I'm trying to think. This is definitely before Good Will Hunting. So this is probably the first time I saw Ben Affleck, and I'm like, oh, you know what he should do? Be Batman. And I was really ahead of the curve. But I like this movie. I think it's probably one of his most sincere, even though it's a bit of a wild concept that is probably not woke enough for Trucker Andy standards.
He didn't do Good Will Hunting yet, but what he did make right after this, thank God, Armageddon. Give it up for Armageddon, everyone. Come on. Let's get some claps, Cayley. Andy? Christian?
No, look, the one thing we know about Cayley is she's more of a Deep Impact girl.
It's true.
Jesus Christ.
That's the joke.
Hit the like.
Yeah. That's Blatt. But one of the things I have to say about Chasing Amy, and this is when my wokeness starts showing, where I started noticing in his films, Kevin Smith written films, that if you had a character that wasn't white or wasn't straight, that was all they turned up to do. Was the black guy would turn up to speak about being black, and a gay person would only speak about being gay and then leave. And it's like, why did he say that to me? Like he didn't know that I knew he was black. I mean, I wouldn't let him in the house, obviously. I'm just saying. But I thought that Chasing Amy sort of showed off the immature side of Smith, and that he said it was inspired by a real breakup he had. And it's like, why? Because your ex was seeing somebody else before you. I mean, if it's okay with Matt Mead, it should be okay with everybody else. If you know what I'm Dabbleverse in number 4, hit the like button. But overall, I like Chasing Amy, even though it looks like shit. Like it's a low budget film that looks even shittier budget or shittier production values than Clerks. Weirdly, Cayley, what did ye think of what the fuck's it called again?
Chasing
Amy.
Chasing Amy.
Chasing Cayley.
I don't get it.
I've only seen this movie one time. I never had the urge to rewatch it, and that probably says something. I didn't dislike it, but it was never something that I was like, oh, I really need to go back and revisit that. My memory of it is that it had a very honest take about the concept that jealousy often masquerades as morality. And I thought that that was really an interesting concept to a film. On the other hand, if I'm never reaching back for it again, do I really like it that much? I don't know.
Yeah, well, what I would advise you to reach for, Cayley, is if you can find the DVD where they filmed it in the comic book store, all the live action extras, and Jason Mewes is, and I think the medical term is fucked. Like he is out of his mind on let's just say way too much milk.
The director's commentary for Mallrats, he falls asleep multiple times, and they're like, "Oh man, you must be really tired." They had no idea what was going on in his private life.
Wait, what was going on in his private life?
Yeah, milk addiction.
Yeah.
But we should get Andy's opinion because he's the one whose nickname was Finger Cuffs in college.
Yes. That was what they called me. Like I said, this one is they spent a lot of time in my parents' hometown, so I've been there a lot. It's a very charming place. Go to Red Bank, New Jersey. It's a lot of fun, and I do think that this movie, Jason Lee makes this movie watchable. I find Joey, what's her name?
Joey Lauren Adams.
the director's girlfriend to be shrill and hard to enjoy in the movie. And
What
I
a
like
sexist.
the Comic-Con stuff. Those are the things I like about the movie. The comic centric stuff and Jason Lee. I could leave the rest, a guy mansplaining lesbianism. I don't need that.
What the fuck's a Nubian?
Well, they read the news for Howard Stern.
By the way, you're mentioning Red Bank, New Jersey, and I feel like it's definitely worth mentioning that there's a beautiful theater there called the Count Basie Center for the Arts. And the day after Christmas, you can go see Joe Matarese. There are literally thousands and thousands of tickets available. So they're as low as $36. They started at $54. And so go ahead if you're in New Jersey, go check out Joe Matarese. You'll get some laughs.
He charged $54, Joe Matarese.
Oh, not anymore. They're down to 36.
I wouldn't
I
wouldn't give him $54 if he was giving out 60.
I wouldn't give him 36.
That's not what I heard.
In a row?
Nice callback to some
We're really
sexist
having
bigotry.
fun, aren't we?
But did you like it, Andy?
I think I enjoyed it when I saw it the first time, just based on the fact that I was like, oh, it's the guy that did Clerks and Mallrats, and I liked those, so I'll probably like this. And I pretended that I liked it, but very much like Cayley, I think I've seen it 2-3 times over the last 30 years, and it's not something that I'm ever cared to watch again. So I think it had a moment when it first came out, and that moment is long over.
Yeah, and somebody made a good point, which I'll get to in a second here. But Barster QB3BN, thanks for the $20. Hey, Hughezy, just thought you should know that my hiney really itches. It's terrible. I always say if that happens, put it out the window, especially in the morning time, and let the wind blow at it. Other than that, I've got nothing. Here's $20. I'm rich, bitch. There you go. Thank you very much. Ghost Crusader TV, which is a great channel. Thanks for the $5. I like the theme tune to Chasing Amy or the intro music to it. I know exactly what he means because on the DVD that plays on the menu, and I would often fall asleep watching stuff and always wake up to that fucking theme song, and it is great and it's basic and it's wonderful. I want to go dancing to it, don't you, Christian?
Yes, it's Dave Perna from Soul Asylum, not with the band. That's his music, although he does have the song that's in the end credits, which is a Soul Asylum song. So, yes, I agree. I like that music very much.
Sorcerer Gypsy, thanks for the dough. Early movies were awesome. Don't love Thin Kevin.
Okay, so you wish he died. Okay, Sorcerer Gypsy, I see where you're at.
Yeah, and also this is a nice thanks for the two and a plug for Cayley. By the way, SLC Punk app was awesome.
Thank you.
It was, and I never heard of that film before, but I have it in my Amazon Prime watch list, and I would also highly recommend Once Over with Cayley because, and I don't mean this to come across as sexist, that fucking her knows what she's doing. It's a good show.
Thank you.
We mentioned the Joey Lauren Adams stuff and the controversy of Weinstein and a woman. Allegedly, according to Joey Lauren Adams, or as I like to call her, JLA. You like that one, Christian?
I'm sure I do.
Thank you. She was promised the lead role of Dogma, Kevin Smith's next film in 1999. For years and years from way back when Mallrats came out, and that's how Smith and her had got together, and all this stuff. And then after they broke up, she'd been promised the role, and he said, "Don't worry, it's still going to be you." She was even Golden Globe nominated for Chasing Amy, and she did the Adam Sandler classic Big Daddy. Thank God for that. Huge star, amazing film, 10 Oscars. But then she found out that it was named Linda Florentino.
Yes.
Was getting the role instead in the press. So she literally woke up one day and found out with the rest of us because Kevin Smith lied to her. But Dogma, I've got to say, it's another one of these things where a black guy turns up to speak about being black. Everybody just talks in monologues, so it's like I hate the TV show Peaky Blinders. It's fucking shit because everybody speaks in speeches because it's a writer's TV show. It's not a well written show. Like here's the thing about on my 5th birthday, and before I get to that, golf. What's the deal with golf? Why don't they just use fucking sticks and all this shit? I have grown to really dislike Dogma despite its epic scale. I didn't even call it that, and you really shouldn't. Cayley, what did you think of Dogma?
I love Dogma so much. I love Dogma so much. Nobody can ever convince me that this movie is not incredible. I think that it is so perfectly done. I think that it is the perfect way to treat religion in a comedy film. I think that it's hilarious. And Kevin Smith did something in this film that I actually really truly appreciate, which is that he brought Bud Cort back to the screen. And Bud Cort had not been in pretty much any film since shortly after his car accident, after he was in Harold and Maude. And he had been basically an entirely forgotten actor. And because Kevin Smith liked him as an actor and liked Harold and Maude, he was like, I'm putting him in fucking Dogma. And he did that. And it was amazing. And I think it's so funny. I think it's an interesting take on theology. It's nerdy. It's amazing. I love it. It's beautiful. The wings are gorgeous. I love this movie. I love this movie.
And Alanis Morissette played God, a woman. Andy, what did you think of a
That was
woman
actually
being...
the part that I didn't like.
Thank you.
Yes.
And of course, Kevin Smith has an action sequence in it. Thanks very much. Andy, what did you think of Dogma?
I think this is Kevin Smith's best movie. I think that you have a chip on your shoulder, and that's fine. And I think that Chris Rock says more about religion than being black in the movie. So I'm going to push back on you a little bit there, Hughezy. So this movie introduces George Carlin into the Kevin Smith universe, which is never a bad thing. And it's
keep in mind the next time we see George Carlin in a Kevin Smith
yes,
movie.
but it's not Carlin's fault what's happening around him in the movies. He's just value added to any movie. Is my point. I
do agree. Yeah,
and the cat that's got like a top notch, well, not top notch, but a highly popular cast. It's an ensemble cast that works well together. I think the messaging about theology and religion is poignant and thoughtful, and yeah, this is easily his best movie to me.
I'm going to steal somebody's joke there. They said that he cast Alanis Morissette as God, but it was ironic. I love it. That's Clerks 4 material. Sorcerer Gypsy, thanks for the 2. Huey, don't put drugs in your pocket. It wasn't my pocket.
Don't run through sprinklers after you do it either. You'll see one day.
Is this SLP references?
Yeah. Those initials were so close to being correct.
I ain't doing no fancy book learning. Hit the like button. Yes, but Dogma, of course, that's his big one at the minute, where he was trying to get the rights off Harvey Weinstein. Whatever happened to him? And they just re-released it in 4K HD, and yes, I had the imported DVD from America, and I had one of the greatest commentaries ever. Dogma, I don't know if it's aged well, but I would say see it. He's now working on Dogma 2, which, based on what happened in Bondi Beach, I bet it doesn't happen.
I mean, they've been teasing Mallrats 2 for years also, right?
He has the script. It's Die Hard in a mall.
But the problem with that is they've lost the cast members, so unless they use AI.
I'm going to go out on a limb, and it's not that controversial, but if you try and name me a better Matt Damon movie than Dogma, I'm going to disagree. And I have trouble thinking of the two of them together in anything other than this. I agree with Cayley and Andy that I think that it definitely worked for its time. Now, I haven't gone back and watched it in a while. I'm excited for the 4K physical media. Santa, if you're watching, go ahead and drop that down my chimney. And while you're at it, hit the like and gift a membership, Santa. Come on, help Hughezy out. Yeah. But sorry, Father Christmas. I forgot I called him the wrong thing. I apologize.
Yeah, that's what Christian needs. He needs to start getting things going his way in life. All he's got is a beautiful younger wife with a cool job and a great family and amazing stories for his career. Like a fucking loser.
Well, my house got broke into last night, so it's not all that's a fact, Jack. So it's not all puppy dogs and rainbows, but I appreciate that. In any case, I love this movie, and I'm looking forward to rewatching it now that I can get that 4K release, perhaps in my Christmas stocking. Andy,
did they steal your Jay and Silent Bob DVD?
No, just a bunch of they didn't steal this laptop I'm on, just a bunch of the cheap jewelry I bought from my wife that I told her was real. So joke's on them.
See, that's why it's always good to lie to your wives, guys, when you know what's break in and steal your stuff. Yes, Cayley.
I think all of our eyebrows were like, Christian was like, yeah, my house got broken into last night. And I think that all 6 of the other eyebrows in the room went up here for a solid 45 seconds.
Yeah. So give Hughezy some super chat money and he'll share it with me.
Oh, yeah, of course he will. Sure, I'll send it right over. The more you send to me, don't send it to Christian directly. Send it to me, and I will make sure that it gets to him even quicker. Okay?
Yeah, you can send it to me, and I'll get it to him.
Yeah, it's actually a better idea. Yeah, go ahead. Send it to Hughezy to send it to Andy, who will then send it to me.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Andy can bring it right to Hackamania for you.
There you go.
That's actually a great point. Thank you.
Sorcerer Gypsy, speaking of donations, Sorcerer Gypsy, thanks for the tool. The cuddling question in Mallrats transcends time. Can anybody remember what that is?
I don't, actually.
He's talking about the fact that his arm in between them, like he has no comfortable place to put his arm, which means that he can't be comfortable with that woman.
Yeah, that's why I always kick a woman out of bed when I'm sleeping with her. And by the way, I'm glad that you put this up because I think everybody needs to know that Andy's going to give me the money that you give to Hughezy, and Hughezy will give me the drugs in his pocket, allegedly, at Hackamania, April 10th through 12th in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, there are a number of promo codes out there, but
including Cayley, Cayley.
Promo code Bears is the only one that could possibly bring Eric Zane there, and even Cayley wants that to happen. So go ahead, use promo code Bears, save 10%, and get Eric Zane out of his house. Come on, he needs it. He's a grandfather, for Christ's sake, and his dick doesn't work. So promo code Bears. Thank you.
Is this an actual promo code at this point? I know it started out.
Yeah. No. That was Melton basically said, like, I can't. He's probably not going to put our show on, but if enough people, I'll tell you, if 15 people use our code, he's going to fly Eric Zane out to be part of the weekend. So we only need 12 more.
And for anyone listening to the audio version, that's promo code BEARS, not BA, the other spelling. You go ahead, Cayley. You spell it for BARES?
Yeah, it's BEARS. Thank you, Hughezy.
Wanna fuck? Let's fuck!
In 2001, the dawn of the Dude Bro era, we were gifted Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. This, when you think about it, all joking aside, this was an idea that was done before Marvel, or DC, or fucking even the Fast and the Furious, the really good one, Fast 5, where he did the first ever, as far as I know, a cinematic crossover where all the characters from his previous films turned up in this one, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. And I gotta be honest with you, I think I watched this 1,000,000 times. I remember the first time I saw this on TV, I laughed my fucking head off. And I'm fucking talking hysterical laughter. There's so many one-liners and insider comments. And it's like, Affleck is the bomb in Phantoms. That's not funny, but it's funny. And that bit where they goes, yeah, what's up now, and cracks his neck. Why is that funny? I don't know, but it is. I remembered also, of course, dude, I think I just filled the cup, which is about cum. Cayley, what did you think of Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back?
I am so with you. This movie is hysterical, and I watched it and rewatched it again and again and again. This is the perfect budget for this type of comedy movie, and you can tell like it is definitely beefed up from some of his previous works. It's a little less rough around the edges, I guess. It is unbelievably funny. It's just a dumb road trip. It's just a dumb road trip movie from what, 2001? Is that when you probably
Yes,
just said that and I
2001.
immediately forgot it. Yeah. And it works so incredibly well. And I think this goes to a little bit what Christian was saying earlier. Sometimes a lot depends kind of on when a movie does come out. And I think this came out at the perfect time to make everybody just enjoy and have fun with really dumb comedy. It's so good. There's so much fandom in it also.
Yeah, Sorcerer Gypsy, thanks for the 5. Makes an excellent point here. Strike Back takes on trolling in a way that still eludes most of the Dabbleverse. It illuminates how not to react to trolling. A good flick. Thank you for the donation, but I'm infuriated that you said flick. It's pronounced film.
Moviepoopshow.com, I believe, is the message board in here. And interesting that a scant 24 years later, all 4 of us can name people who are actually doing what Jay and Bob do, showing up outside people's houses to fight them for what they say about them on the internet. And then our crippled friend goes ahead and calls the police because he's worried about one of those confrontations. Jay and Bob knew what was coming.
Yeah, who would play Quadfather in a Kevin Smith movie?
You say that you can't write the Dabbleverse, but God damn it, this might actually have done that.
We're living in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Oh, and just one quick thought that who knew in 2001 that this was going to be the best performance we would get from Mark Hamill in the entire 21st century? And you know I'm right, Hughezy.
I hate Mark Hamill. I fucking hate him. Even though he was in one of my favorite films of the year, The Long Walk. But if when I look at Mark Hamill, all I think is The Long Wank. Great stuff. Cayley's going mad at the laughter. But while she's laughing,
got him.
Animated series Joker, you don't like that?
I don't remember it. I party so hard that I don't know shit. And
it's
that
the
means
same
that
voice
I'm
he does as Hobgoblin in the Spider-Man animated series. So Luke doesn't have much range. And before you forget to ask me, Hughezy, I also love this movie. I think that this is the most fun. This is the most fan servicey. And it is, of course, the only film in the Askewniverse with James Van Der Beek. So obviously it's great.
That's right. That's fucking. And then, of course, you get the part where a woman farts into a laser. That's what I like to see. I like when women break wind. It's something I enjoy. Andy, what did you think of Jed, Silent Bob Strike Back?
Yeah, I also enjoy this. I feel like I was 10 years into a 20-year weed smoking bender, so this was definitely a movie for me at this time. Like I said, I enjoyed the previous films, and calling back to shit that you love already it's a shortcut to success. So it's a great movie. I love it, and I love Jason Mewes, so I think it's great.
And not only in hindsight, when you watch this, much like Marvel, they did a crossover with the post-credit scene where Alanis Morissette turns up again as God and literally closes the book on the View Askew universe, and you go, all right, very good. Little did we know that was the end of the positive thoughts. So this guy who was once the hero of the 90s, it was onto a serious crash course at a rapid pace. In 2004, he gave us, thank God, Jersey Girl. I have to,
Finally, the
yeah.
movie we've all been waiting for.
this is a really unique story that has never been told before, about a guy who meets a woman, falls in love, then they become pregnant, tragedy happens, and the guy raises the child by himself. I've never heard of that story happening ever. Name 17 films where that have happened before, and I'll give you half of the money that I'm going to give to Christian.
Yeah,
which I
4 of
think
them are
is-
probably other Ben Affleck movies, right?
The only thing missing is if he'd gotten help raising the baby from Steve Guttenberg and Ted Danson.
What about George Carlin?
Well, he does get help from George
Yeah,
Carlin,
right.
who
George
who
Carlin
has
might
a
be able to
hilarious
do
bit in
about
this
it.
movie called 7 Dirty Diapers. You can't say in movies, but I don't want to spoil it for anyone.
So I was not a fan of this, and not that I encourage it, but you should see what the girl who plays the daughter in this film looks like today, and that's all I can say. Christian, what did you think of Jersey Girl?
Okay, so I don't hate this movie because I think a lot of people confuse it with Geely, which is a much worse Ben Affleck and J-Lo movie. She's barely in this. I think that's the thing that they should have put that on the poster. Don't worry, she's barely in this. And I thought it was a very sweet movie when I saw it, and I don't know. I think, you know, Affleck hadn't really worn out his welcome with most of us just yet. I think he hadn't done a movie that was literally called Paycheck at this point, where at least he was being honest about why he said yes. But Carlin goes a long way, in all honesty. I think just getting to see him as a character, because like he had a sitcom in the 90s, and he basically played George Carlin sitting around a bar and just ranting. But so he actually got to act in this. So I appreciated that. I would never recommend this movie to anyone, but I am saying I don't hate it, and I did prefer the longer DVD version as opposed to the theatrical cut. Yes, I own it.
It sucks. I want it to be longer.
Why
you know?
didn't that get stolen? I wonder.
Yes, because
Well, they actually did,
out
but
in
they
the
brought it
garage.
back.
Yeah. All my Kevin Smith DVDs were just left on the front step this morning.
I
By
didn't
the way,
even
somebody
know.
in the chat asked, I wasn't home. They wanted to know why I didn't shoot the intruders. I wasn't home. Otherwise, I would have shot them twice. So now
Also,
everybody knows.
California, you're not allowed to have guns. So
Well, no, we have a communal gun in the city, so I could have asked to borrow
You
it.
could have asked to borrow it.
We have one gun.
California's so woke that they actually stole a trans kid. Cayley, what did you think of Jersey Girl?
I remember hating this movie. That being said, at the time that I saw it, I really, really hated rom-coms. Like, I had almost no tolerance at all for drama in films. And so this just did not work for me. I have never even considered rewatching it. But I got to be honest, what Christian just said, maybe it's worth the, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Cayley, I'll bring my DVD to Hackamania.
Perfect.
You can borrow it on some device, but you got to give it back to me the next day.
I was
Don't
going
go
to say
back
he's
to
going to
Rochester.
write his name on it so that
Yeah.
I can't steal it.
Yeah. Or, you could just go see it on the IMAX theater that you guys have there in Rochester.
It's
yeah,
beautiful.
totally. Yeah.
That's actually
everything I said about being from New Jersey. This movie makes me want to take it back. Okay, I fucking did not enjoy this. It gives Jersey a
This
bad
movie's
name.
a real pork roll of a movie, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I want to concede my comments about Jersey Girl and go back to the fact that they pay off the Suzanne thing in Mallrats and Jay and Silent Bob. I enjoyed that, and it put the song, that Weezer song, Suzanne, on my radar. So that's the best thing about Jersey Girl.
Speaking of songs, I knew this film was fucking dumb, and in the end credits, they use a live version of Bruce Springsteen's cover of Jersey Girl instead of using the original Tom Waits version. That's when I realized, Kevin Smith is fucking stupid. Jersey Girl was followed up 2 years later, which shocked a lot of people, with 2006 Clerks 2. And the reason why it shocked a lot of people is because Jeff Anderson, who plays Randall, hated Kevin Smith because Kevin Smith twice sort of convinced him, or not twice, really convinced him, hey, you're going to go on to become an actor. We're going to put you in all these other roles and all these other films. And the only thing he gave him was like a one-shot cameo in Dogma. So Clerks 2 honestly sounded like it was never going to happen for that reason. But it did happen. And I really liked it. I haven't rewatched it in a long time. I remember really liking it. It was laughing, all that kind of fun shit. Hit the like button. But I want to know what Cayley thinks of Clerks 2.
Yeah, I really liked this as well. I actually just did a rewatch of all the Clerks movies, including Clerks Triple X. In case you guys haven't seen that, that was a fun time. Not Kevin Smith, unsurprisingly, but there are 37 cocks in it. So,
Is there necrophilia in it?
there's a lot of things that have. It actually follows the plot of the original Clerks pretty closely. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, in the Clerks
it.
in the Clerks Triple X, the Dante character gets a different kind of shot in the chest.
Yes.
But you like Clerks 2, Cayley?
I do. I really liked Clerks 2. I think that it has one of the strongest emotional endings, while still giving me the nostalgia that I loved about Clerks, or that I grew to love about Clerks, I guess, because again, I didn't initially like that movie. It's gross out, but also just fun. And yeah, I really enjoy it. I enjoyed this a million times more than I thought that I was going to.
Christian?
I was very excited for this movie, and I feel like it didn't let me down. It's obviously you try to not compare it to the original, and it's so different in so many ways. And I was impressed that I felt like Rosario Dawson actually, joined the cast in a good way. And you have to commend Kevin Smith because he told his wife, "Look, I'm going to put you in this movie, but you're going to be the biggest cunt in the entire movie," and she sure was. So
yeah, and that documentary, or sorry, that film was called "The Making of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back."
Yes. But I don't know. I thought this was fun. I like that they came up with a reason for them to be working somewhere other than the convenience store. And Kevin still has a lot of movies merchandise, so good for him for coming up with that branding. I had no complaints about this. I thought it was every bit as fun as I wanted it to be, and it's probably the movie that in my head I still think Mallrats is, but it probably isn't. This is the actual movie that I think is still fun to watch and silly.
I would also recommend checking out a photograph of what the young guy, the new cast member from Clerks 2 looks like today. He is a big fat bastard. Hit the like button.
He was in Clerks 3, and I believe he did live up to being a big fat bastard. Yeah.
Good. Andy, what do you think of Clerks 2?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be the anti-opinion. I did enjoy this when it came out, but I think when it was coming out on the heels of Jay and Silent Bob, which was so joke dense and like just a better caliber of jokes in the movie, I felt like this kind of fell flat because all of the cast are terrible actors, except Rosario Dawson slumming it in this. I think the performances are wooded across the board, probably because Brian O'Halloran and the Randall character, they're not like really actors. So the caliber of performance just across the board in the movie after something like Dogma just played as, I don't know, less than to me for like the entirety of the movie. And then I have to watch Jay tuck it back too, and I didn't like that.
Great. I did like that.
You didn't like it. You didn't like it. You loved it, Andy.
Yeah. I get the reference, but I'd rather watch Jay and Silent Bob. I'd rather watch Clerks 1.
Yeah, and we're supposed to believe watching this film that Brian O'Halloran could not only get Rosario Dawson pregnant, but in her they have her talking about letting Brian Johnson go arse the mouth with her, and not analingus, talking about putting his dick in her arse and then put it in her mouth after. He's like, yeah, I don't think he could do that to her in real life.
And then what do
Well,
they do? After
I'm
that?
pretty sure.
Oh.
I'm sure. I'm pretty sure that that Brian Johnson will be at Hackamania, so you can ask him to show you.
I will put one person that may be at Hackamania is Scarlett Hampton. And she would probably, she knows personally a cast member of the next film, Zack and Miri Make a Porno from 2008. She knows, of course, the lovely and talented Katie Morgan. Who's she? I guess I'll have to Google her afterwards for a couple of minutes. Well, just research it. I don't know. This was his attempt, and this was very weird. Kevin Smith had been making films for over a decade now, but he'd really never had a big hit. So this was his attempt, it seemed, at doing a Judd Apatow type film, which had been very successful, big box office hits. And gotta be honest, didn't like this one at all. It seemed like a good idea, but the problem with doing stuff like this as a comedy means you have to censor everything you do. I did not like this one at all, and I gotta be honest. Spoiler alert: Clerks 2 was the last Kevin Smith film I was going to like for at least a decade or more. I can't do math. Cayley, what did you think of Zack and Miri Make a Porno? Hit the like button.
I'm totally with you. This is like the mainstream malarkey that I did not want him to start doing. I think there was so much charm and wonder in his earlier movies, and then we get this, and it was trying so hard to be what everything else was at the time, and it completely fell flat. It completely fell flat. I didn't find it charming. I didn't find the characters endearing. I didn't care about anybody, and I wasn't horned up, so it didn't do any of the things I want a movie called Zack and Miri Make a Porno to do. Didn't do anything. Sucked.
Nice pun. Nice one. Christian?
So, in some ways, this is the the Black Album for Kevin Smith, in the way that the diehard fans are like, why did he go mainstream? And again, I didn't hate this, but I would never say to someone, you know what, you should check out Zack and Miri Make a Porno. I did go see this with my wife, and it's the only movie that we've ever seen with the word porno in the title.
Like, I like getting fucked in my ass and doing cocaine.
I was wondering where Lemmy Drops had been this whole show. We've already been doing it for more than an hour. I think, I don't know. I think that in general, I enjoy Seth Rogen, and Elizabeth Banks used to make movies. It's been, now she's a game show host. But all I can say is that I don't hate this, but I don't know why, because I haven't seen it since I saw it in the theater. I remember walking out being like, that was all right. And that's the favor I'm doing Kevin Smith for signing DVDs until 5:30 in the morning. I'm saying I don't hate this movie.
Yeah,
I think we should just fuck, Cayley. Is that
Yeah,
cool?
I'm in. Let's go.
Finally, Lemmy's making the points.
Yeah.
I've been waiting.
Andy, what did you think of Zack and Miri Make a Porno? And before you get to that,
And give me like 10 Heil Hitlers.
I've been waiting for that too. Happy Hanukkah, everybody.
Yeah, I'll save that for the paywall content. But I think that this one is everything that I was saying that I didn't like about Clerks 2, with the level of the performances and the joke quality, comes through in this movie. It's just like a better quality of cast, Craig Robinson, and everything you were saying about I don't know the actor's name, Randall, kind of getting strung along, and he kind of pays it off here by putting him in this with arguably a better cast than anything that he's ever been in. So props to Kevin for that. But yeah, this movie, I don't know, it's funny. I like the cast. I like there's a lot of cameos. The Justin Long cameo at the reunion is funny. There's things to like about this, but I don't like the same thing with Chasing Amy, a straight white guy's commentary on being a lesbian, and the Kevin Smith's commentary on porn, like they're the way that they fall in love via doing a porno. I think it's a misguided concept for getting like a couple getting together. I don't like that about it, but hit the
Well,
like
you
button.
you
I don't
have
know.
never asked me.
I'm running out of gas.
You have never asked me how my wife and I met, Andy. So it might. I'm just gonna say it might not be that hard to believe.
Yeah.
Well, Zack and Miri Make a Porno was supposed to be his biggest hit of his career. It ended up being one of his lowest grossing films, I think. I don't give a shit. So at the time, Kevin Smith basically said, right, you know what? I give up. I'll just become a director for hire. And this is coming after the success, shall we say, of his acting role in Die Hard 4, where he became a Bruce Willis director for 2010's Cop Out, which I can't actually review because it is the one and only film I actually walked out of at the cinema. I thought it was so shit. So I seen half of Cop Out before I walked out. Great joke. Hit the like button for more bangers. Andy, what did you think of Cop Out?
It's really disappointing. It seems like it has all the potential to be 48 hours, right? Something along those lines, like that style of buddy cop comedy, and it just falls flat at every turn. And I believe all of the things that Kevin has said about Bruce Willis being difficult to work with, but I feel like he had no chemistry with the director, no chemistry with Tracy Morgan, and that all was apparent on screen because it's not a fun movie to watch. It sucks. It's got all this hype and potential and doesn't deliver on any of it.
If Kevin thought that Bruce Willis was hard to work with, he should try working with him now.
It probably would have been an easier, better working relationship.
Just to piggyback on what Andy said, which is yes, it's a gay term here in the United States, Hughezy, to piggyback. It's not only not 48 hours, it's not Lethal Weapon, it's not even The Last Boy Scout. But when you see the poster and you go like, okay, Bruce Willis, Tracy Morgan, should be funny, Kevin Smith, and yeah, all the elements are there. But none of it actually ends up on the screen somehow. There's potential. A better script would have helped, and maybe a better director. But I don't know that this is not one of my favorites. Here's what I'll tell you. This was the first one where I'm like, oh, I don't need the DVD of this. Yes, I have the DVD of Zack and Miri Make a Porno. Okay.
Dabble Doofus says The Last Boy Scout is awesome. It is, and it is a Christmas film, so get watching it this season. You've only got a couple of weeks left. Cayley, what did you think of Cop Out?
I think Andy and Christian kind of hit my points, but I did realize something as you guys were both talking, which is, this movie really, it should have hit all the right notes. And Andy, you were talking earlier about Edgar Wright, and when I joined you on All Apologies to talk about Hot Fuzz, that's kind of what I would have wanted Cop Out to be. And then I was thinking about Zack and Miri Makes a Porno, and I think that the much better version of that is the movie The Girl Next Door, not the horror one, but the porno one. There's all these movies. It's almost like Kevin Smith hit the jackpot and had some really great concepts, but never actually knew how to make films. And so he was just doing things that were like similar to what other people were doing, but he couldn't ever really actually hit the mark.
Yeah, Cayley, I think it was around this time that it sort of exposed the fact that Kevin Smith's a hack.
Yeah.
And he got lucky with Clerks to get into the industry. And for some reason, despite not having much success, he kept getting work. And it's nothing at all to do with him knowing what Harvey Weinstein was up to. Ghost Crusader TV, thanks for the 5. Cop Out was originally supposed to be called A Couple of Dicks, starring Robin Williams and James Gandolfini. Well, what they needed was a couple of doctors. Am I right? All right, Pedro, seriously. Hit the like button for dead celebrities. 2011 then gave us his first film where he really, really tried something different. And I have to admit, I liked it at the time. And he hyped the shit out of it. Like, he really did a great job hyping it. 2011's Red State. Christian, what do you think of this one?
I'll say that the same thing about the next one too. I appreciated the big swing for doing something very different, and I would say the end result would qualify as good, not great, but I definitely enjoyed Red State. I mean the cast probably, I don't know, could be better. I mean, I love John Goodman, but in general, I think the lead was an interesting choice. But I remember feeling like, okay, he's doing something different now, and the next one that he does is probably going to be like this, but he'll have a better hang on it, hang of it. But this doesn't feel like a Kevin Smith movie, which I guess is a compliment to him, because all of his movies, even Cop Out, I mean, they all still felt like Kevin Smith movies. So yeah, again, so far I haven't said any of these are shit. So this is, again, good, not great.
Yeah, my only real thing about Red State was it showed you how hypocritical he was, where he did a film about this crazy homophobic family, and they, these murderous criminals, and they're really anti-gay and all this stuff. Yet when they got the guy arrested, the film ends with the police joking about the fact that he's going to get gang raped in jail. And it's like, so that's a gay joke. What's the whole point of the film? Is it, gay guys will fuck anybody, So but you just did the thing that the family was accused of, you dumb cunt. Speaking of which, Andy, what did you think of Red State?
I actually really like Red State. I thought that on the heels of the failures of Zack and Miri and
Cop Out.
What was the one at Cop Out? Yeah, this is where he steps away from the big budget studio pictures, and he's just going to start making movies that he wants. And I was listening to a lot of his podcasts when I was driving a truck. I had a lot of time on my hands, so I listened to a lot of podcasts. That's how I found Tell 'Em Steve Dave, and from there, enjoying that, I found Kevin Smith's show, and he talked a lot in that show about the lead up to things that became these latter day complete left turn in his career, films like Tusk and Red State, and I guess, I don't know, to a lesser extent, there was supposed to be something called Moose Jaws that was going to be the other Canadian film that he did, and it was about a killer moose, I think. So and he would pitch these things and they would hash them out on the podcast, and it was interesting to see them evolve into what you would see on the big screen, successful or not. But I think Red State is an example of it being successful, and I liked seeing him do something completely different. And I'm sorry I'm like so earnest about my discussion on these films, but it's only because I don't know. At my heart, I like Kevin Smith, so I want to like all these things, but there's so much to be critical about. But the Red State is the one that stands out to me as a success when we get to this length of his career. But I digress. I'm sorry.
But I digress. Oh, that's the other fucking opinion. But I can't do his impression. Anyway, Ghost Crusader TV, thanks for the 5, makes a good point. Red State was very good until the end. I wanted to see a Revelations type apocalypse, and I think that was the plan, but he obviously didn't have the budget for it. Cayley, what did you think of Red State? Was it Red State or was it Brown State?
That's a good one. I'm laughing.
Hit the like button.
Like it. Oh my goodness. It's funny, as you guys are talking about this movie, I'm realizing that I have almost no memory of it. I know that I saw it. I remember there being a fair amount of tension, which I don't feel like we had ever really seen in a Kevin Smith movie before. Do I remember that correctly, or is
it's
that
like it's a Westboro Baptist church type of cult that is these kids break into their cult compound and get tortured and it's not a Kevin Smith movie, which is why it's good.
And most people probably know the Westboro Baptist Church by the name that they went by. God hates that word that Hughezy says all the time.
God hates raisins in the coleslaw. Don't bring it to the picnic.
Well, that then led us to 2014's Tusk, which of course, what's his name? Not Kevin. Stuttering John has used as a meme for Carl from WATP.
Toothy cuck.
I've never
I
seen.
wish you had that so that you could play it right now.
People
Why do
should
they
start doing
podcast?
that.
It is pretty great.
I'm changing my avatar in the chat to that now.
I'd never seen Tusk, and I still haven't because I had stopped working for Kevin Smith, and it was a very bad breakup. And this never got a cinema release over here, and this was the pre-streaming era, so there was the only way to see it was to buy it on Blu-ray. I wasn't going to do that, so I've never seen it. I've never hunted it out, and it was a giant flop. Cayley, what did you think of 2014's Tusk?
Toothy cuck.
I think that you made the correct choice never watching this one. This movie is exactly up my alley. It is exactly I love body horror. I love weird shit. I wanted to go into this loving it so much. I walked into this with the disposition of I am going to be this movie's biggest fan. It is going to be super, super awesome. And it alienated the shit out of me. And I feel like that is intentional with what the movie is, but fuck you, dude. We're your audience. Don't do that to me. It's stupid and I hate it. And I don't get it. And I don't understand why anybody likes this movie. I do not understand it. I would love for somebody to explain to me any redeeming quality of this film other than, again, the Carl.
Yeah, and Christian, what did you think of Toothy? Jaws.
So I've done my best at finding that, which is Carl watching it. So we'll still get to see it though.
How are you, Dave? Hello, my friend.
Good to visit with DG.
You like this?
Why do they podcast? WDTP.
He's gonna play it again. Yep. He plays it over and over again, and watch, he laughs every time.
All right, that's enough, Carl. But come on, we all got to see it. So again, this is what I was talking about. Big swing, really appreciate it. I tend to like Justin Long. The cameo in Zack and Miri is some of his finest work. He was on a show called Ed that is completely unavailable anywhere with this guy Tom Cavanaugh and Julie Bowen. It's a phenomenal show that I loved, but they would play a little fast and loose with the music licensing, so you may never see it again. But the short of it, this is not a very good movie, but I appreciate the attempt to do something really different. It's just he wasn't the guy to make this movie, and this might actually be on the shite pile. So nice try, Kev.
Shite pile actually sounds like a film that Kevin Smith would make.
It's in development right now. He hasn't filmed it yet, but yeah, it's coming.
Starring Dolph Lundgren. Andy, what did you think of Tusk?
I think I'm agreeing with everybody for the most part on this, but this was one that was really fleshed out and hashed out and discussed on the podcast. So we heard a lot about it if you were listening to that, and it just grew into, you know what? I can't not bring up the performances of Johnny Depp in this. This is really strange, and I think it's all just an effort to get his daughter into yoga hosers. So I don't know why he would bother appearing in this. And the scene with him and the villain where he's interrogating that actor and the guy is playing like retarded. Does anybody remember this scene? You didn't see it, but it's one of the worst things
I've erased this movie from my head.
You know,
Yeah,
it's so funny because usually Johnny Depp is so discerning about projects that he's willing to participate in that this was the only one that I don't even remember the specifics of it, but I remember that this was kind of in a long list of whatever happened to Johnny Depp. Oh, his wife shit in the bed. So obviously it drove him crazy.
Yeah. Right, but I think that character shows up in a couple other movies as well, right? If I think I'm right about that. But
think you're right.
it has this movie should not exist. Just like the character that becomes the monster, it's not a thing that shouldn't be. I don't remember it that well, but except that it was disappointing almost from front to back. I thought that the prosthetics of the final creation looked bad, and that
It looked like a friend and neighbor of yours in Rochester. We just saw him a minute ago.
Yeah. I probably have PTSD from seeing it at band practice every week.
Band practice.
Exactly. But yeah, if that had paid off better, I think a creature effects had paid off in a better way. Maybe it would have saved the movie.
It wouldn't have.
Maybe.
Well, Tusk came out, was a giant flop. Nobody went to see it. So logically, the next thing you do is you self-finance a sequel, starring Johnny Depp's daughter, who, if you haven't seen her before, she shows off her cunt tits and arsehole in the Weekend's TV show The Idol. So much so that even I, an arse watcher, became bored of seeing her arse. That's how you know when there's too much nudity. I, again, have never seen Yoga Hosers. I know that Austin Butler's in it. He went from this on to playing one of the fucking Manson family members. Then he was Elvis. Now he's going to be in a Miami Vice reboot. What a logical...
Did you see Caught Stealing, by the way? Because I thought he was very good in that.
I just thought it was good. It's pretty good. Yep.
Yeah.
I
didn't mean to sidetrack everything, but that's the first time where I saw him, and I'm like, okay, I think I'm all right with Austin Butler.
Well, what did you think of Austin Butler's Yoga Hosers?
This is the one that I told you when we started that I'm such a big Kevin Smith fan that I almost saw this movie, but I couldn't justify it. So I actually have not seen this. I just couldn't do it because it's starring his daughter and Johnny Depp's daughter. And yeah, I've seen his daughter in other films. So I was like, nah, I think I'll take a pass.
Andy, what did you think of Yoga Hosers?
Yeah. Christian is correct. This is Kevin Smith wanting to make a movie with his daughter. That's the only reason this exists. And he's making Tusk. He's just making things that he wants to make because he can finance it through his fandom of the stuff that people like. People are like, we love Clerks, we love Mallrats, we love Dogma. Please make another version of that. And then he's taking that money from people that are supporting him at these live speaking events that are wildly popular. He's still doing them to this day, and it's selling out theaters, and he's getting money like that. And then he's making this shit, and it's Yoga Hosers is unwatchable. It's unwatchable. I hate it.
And Cayley, I know you love Nazi sausage films. What did you think of Yoga Hosers?
That is a good way to describe it. This is nepotism at its worst. It's so self-indulgent. It's horrible. This is an unwatchable movie. This is absolutely unwatchable. There is no reason to even try. I hate it. It's probably my least favorite of all of the Kevin Smith movies.
But Kevin, if you're watching, hit that like button.
Yeah. I make Yoga Hosers too.
I'm actually so disgusted by Yoga Hosers that I'm gonna head out a little early. So bye, guys. Thank you for having me.
Oh,
I hate that movie. It's the worst.
It's terrible. You bail. Okay.
It's so terrible that I'm bailing. Bye. Love you all.
See ya.
Love you more than a friend.
Try not to suck any dick on the way through the parking lot. Okay.
Except mine.
Do you think that she just shit herself, or she's running to go take a shit, Hughezy?
I heard that she definitely shit herself. Cayley notoriously can't hold it in.
Yeah.
In 2019, Kevin Smith realized he had nothing. He wasn't going to do his Moose Jaws. He came back with Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, the sequel to Strike Back. I saw this, and you guessed it, I fucking hated it. I really wanted to see it. I wanted it to be funny, but it was almost the exact same. It was the exact same storyline of the first one, where they try to stop a Jay and Bob film being made. So now they're trying to stop a remake of the Jay and Bob film being made, Was not a fan. Andy, what did you think of Reboot?
Agreed. The first one is so much fun, and it just misses. Oh, is this the one where? Oh yeah, is it they try and make Kevin's daughter Jay's daughter in the movie? Right? Is that a plot
Yes.
point in that?
That's right. Yeah.
Shoehorning your kid into a movie because nobody else will hire her is so whatever. It's a fucking wank fest from front to back. The jokes, it's all rehashed jokes. That's wank. Sticking your kid in it, that's wank. Trying to make Jay the burnout Jay a responsible dad. Why is that interesting to anybody? Nobody wants to see that.
You know, Hughezy, you approached this movie the way I did, and it seems like, Andy, you would have been like, oh my God, a Jay and Silent Bob reboot. This is great. This is for me. They're going to be older. This is going to be like, okay, they're going to update it. But it's like they took Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back and they thought, you know what it should be more like? Ocean's 12, not Ocean's 11. Not Ocean's 13, but the one where Julia Roberts plays Julia Roberts. So they have Kevin Smith play Kevin Smith. And he's such a terrible actor that he shouldn't be playing any characters in a movie, but Silent Bob works. Except for in the great Die Hard 4. I apologize, Hughezy. I know that's
you know what? I'm sorry to keep going. There's something else I'm having a memory a traumatized memory that I blocked out. I really think that this was exclusive to a streaming platform, like a newer one, maybe like Paramount Plus or something. Right. It's like only available on Starz.
No, it would. It's like the level of like Crackle. It's not Crackle,
something like that.
But it's something
you
like
had
that.
To like, you had to. I had to pay money to get another subscription-based thing.
And by the way, I happily did it because I'm like, oh my God, it's a new Jay and Bob movie. I'm spending my money on that.
Well, yeah, I got Shudder because I wanted to see the Ash vs. Evil Dead series. And then once that was over, I got rid of it. So I did seek this out intentionally. I invested the money just to watch this movie, and it was a disappointing piece of shit. And I'm pissed
it was very disappointing. And, you know, if only the story ended there, but it didn't. Because he's like, wait, I can still go back to the well, though, can I, folks?
Yeah. Hope you guys like being disappointed.
You talk about investing money to see a film. In 2022, he released a film that I don't know if it's actually possible to actually see. It was called Kilroy Was Here, and he released it as a straight to NFT. So I don't even know what the fuck those things actually are. It's a film that you can't watch. I don't know what the fuck it is.
Is this like the Wu-Tang album that Farmer Bro guy bought? So there's like one copy of this movie and somebody spent like $1 million on it.
It stars all types of, like, of course, there's kids in it. Jason Mewes is in it. Chris Jericho. You know, it's got to be good. So yeah, for some reason he went to all that effort to make a film, and no one can actually watch it. So none of us have seen Kilroy Was Here, right?
I didn't even know it didn't even show up. Like, I have a list in front of me of Kevin Smith movies, and I've now opened up a different one and I see it, but I had no idea.
Well, he also in 2022 released Clerks 3, one of the most miserable comedies ever, where we discovered that the girlfriend, Rosario Dawson from the second one, died in childbirth. Then also during it, Dante has a heart attack. So he decides he wants to make a film of his life based in the Quick Stop. So basically they're making Clerks. And wouldn't you know it, at the end of the film, Randall dies of a heart attack. This film is so badly written. And I remember watching this on TV, and I actually had to rewind it to make sure it happens. Kevin Smith turns up in the end credits, giving an audio commentary to actually explain what the fuck happened in the film that you just saw. That's how bad it was. Like, it was so badly done. He literally had to do what Kevin Costner did in The Simpsons, where he turns up to apologize for the postman. He's like, "Can I get a cheese sandwich?" He says, "Oh, I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Remember Field of Dreams? Really made you hope." That's my impression. Christian, what did you think of Clerks
You
3?
confused me, so I had to confirm. Dante is the one who dies. Randall doesn't die. Randall is the one who deserves to die because he's such a piece of shit. But instead, Dante dies. And yeah, look, the idea of making the movie within the movie is something that we've seen. But again, this is post heart attack, Kevin. So he's very self-reflective and really sort of dealing with mortality. And there are definitely moments I remember laughing during this, but it's not the way that I remember walking out of the theater. And I think that this is one, Andy, you can correct me, but I think it was one of those like Fathom Events releases where you could see it on 1 or 2 nights, and that was it. You couldn't go see it in the theater for like a regular release. And I remember seeing it that way, and there was like Q&A afterwards, and they're yucking it up about how Dante died in the movie. Clerks 2 I had no problem with, but I wish they had not made Clerks 3. That was it's the Superman 3 of the franchise. And I'm sorry to say that, Hughezy, because I know what a Richard Pryor fan you are, especially the title of one of his albums.
I always said in Traffic and During Sex. Andy, what did you think of Clerks 3?
Yeah, I don't remember it that well. I think Clerks 3 makes Cop Out look like Clerks 2. It fucking sucks. It's fucking depressing. And I think you're right, Christian. The heart attack thing was just the forefront of his mind and couldn't not include it. And nobody wanted this. Nobody wants this out of these characters. Nobody wants Jay to be a dad. Nobody wants Randall to be a responsible store owner.
Do you remember in like the late 80s, they did a version of the Brady Bunch that was called The Bradys, and it was a drama, and they would go through like, marital problems and divorces. Martha Quinn played from MTV played, I think, Bobby Brady's wife. And it's just
Bel Air show.
You're right. That's a perfect example. Bel Air. That's a way better example. It's way more contemporary, but I live in the 80s, so suck it. But and it's just like, oh, you don't understand your audience at all. That you think if somebody still likes the Brady Bunch this long afterwards, or people were fans of Fresh Prince, what they really want is a depressing version of it that really bums you out. Well, because that's what I thought. That's what I thought after Clerks. He saved Dante's life only to kill him in a much worse way. And I'm sorry, what were you going to say?
But I was just going to say, how many fucking times does he have to go to a Comic-Con or these speaking events where an army of dildos is going to go, what are you going to make Clerks 3? Clerks 3, more of the same. Just keep making the same fucking movie over and over and over again, to a point where he makes this third one and he makes it depressing, and then he makes it again within the movie. So there's Clerks 4 too. Leave me the fuck alone. I don't know. I think it's made out of obligation, and you can feel it. It sucks. It's bad.
Well, Christian, of course, mentioned the 80s there, and Kevin Smith's most recent film, and the final one we've got to discuss here, is called The 4:30 Movie. Since before the pandemic, Kevin Smith bought his own cinema that he would run, and I heard that he literally made this film in his own cinema, and I thought, if it's on TV, you know what? I'll watch it. It's going to be shit, and that'll be it. I gotta be honest with you. I enjoyed this one. It's definitely got some of the stupid, corny shit that Kevin Smith writes, where like people go to the cinema and then the wild party guy has sex in the screening room while there's a load of other people there.
But to be fair, that girl was a whore.
True. Dirty whores love getting fucked. Quote me.
From behind.
I like the 4:30 movie. Not bad at all. Christian, what did you think of it?
I'm going to do you one better. I loved the 4:30 movie. I had no expectations for it. I watched it this morning. As I was sweeping up shattered glass of the back window of my house, but nobody wants to hear about that. And I thought that for the most part, I thought it was incredibly well cast, because I don't know the name of the actor who's the lead, but it's like, oh, he looks like younger pictures of Kevin Smith that he's posted online. And, that girl is way too hot for him. And I looked, she's 19, so I can say that. That girl's way too hot for him, but look, it's just men. Now Cayley's not here to drag us down. I think any of us, the first time we had a girlfriend, we're all like, man, she is way too hot for me. I don't know how this happened, but sure. The difference is that I grabbed her tits in the pool. I mean, come on. I'm not one of those, but I thought it was very sweet. There is one thing that I have to say. I hate period pieces when they say, well, Bill Cosby's always going to be America's treasure. Nothing could change that, because there's like 10 of those moments. You do one or two. There are so many of those. End credit scenes. That's the stupidest thing ever. You're not okay. And then their end credit scene is just fucking bloopers. And I was like, all right, at least you should have had, Sam Jackson come in as Nick Fury or something. So that annoyed me because of how many there were. But I liked some of the appearances, some of the smaller roles. The fake trailers, I think a couple of them worked, but the weakest one was the one with his daughter, the nun who was a hooker, and the Beaver movie, whatever that was called, the Astro Blaster, was so stupid that eventually they kept going back to it, and I started laughing at it because Deirdre Baker is very funny in both Napoleon Dynamite and Office Space, and I guess he was also on the Drew Carey Show. But in any case, I really enjoyed the heart of this movie because he's telling his story. It's set in 1986, and Andy, you'll get it. It's another one of those. Oh, there's no way the Mets are going to have a great season this year. I was like, okay, we get it. This means nothing to you, Hughezy. But it's like, stop. We get it. We know that this is like almost 40 years ago. But I thought that, and I guess there's a deleted scene where Brian O'Halloran is like is throwing him out of a church. So because that was in the post credit sequence, and I kind of wanted to know what that was about. Did he fuck a donut in church? I'm not quite sure what happened, but somebody let me know. And while you're doing it, hit the like. But I thought this was great. I thought this was very sweet. Look, I hope he makes 20 more movies. If this is the last movie he ever makes, it's a very fitting one. It is definitely not perfect. If it was a different filmmaker, I'd probably lean in on some of the stuff that bothered me. But there was male ass in it, so I think Andy liked it.
Yes. That's not the part that I disliked. Let's say that. This one, I like the vibe. I like what it's going for. I think there's a lot of things that are relatable to it, and especially when he goes to see Method Man at a bar restaurant that I really enjoy in New Jersey when I'm there. So I like how it starts off with something familiar for me, but the end. I think the end, when it gets to like the parts where you're waiting for the joke, just the jokes aren't there. I thought it was going to be funnier. I did forget all about the fake trailers, and I think I would have liked this if I watched it again, but I think I was disappointed with it when I saw it the one time that I saw it.
Yeah, and like the idea that he's applying to work at Quick Stop grocery store, and it's only because the video store is not there anymore, because that actually would have made sense that he wanted to work in a video store. I'm sorry. We've been a little kind in this movie. I'm so over Ken Jeong. He's always exactly the same in literally everything. He's the male Asian Melissa McCarthy. I'm sick of both of them because every time I see them, they're doing the exact same shtick. He's not funny, and I didn't appreciate that. But it wasn't enough that it made me hate the movie. But I did not like any scene that he was in, and there were a lot of them.
Melissa McCarthy is my favorite descriptor of Ken Jeong now.
She was on. I watched her on a Saturday Night Live recently, and she's lost a lot of weight, but she's still got a big fat cunt. So we're going to end the poll, seeing as we've come to the end of the thing. It does Kevin Smith stink, and just waiting for it to total itself up here. Unless
I hope it's 69. Whatever the answer is, I hope it's 69 because Kevin would appreciate that.
That would be great. I think I accidentally deleted the poll instead of ending it. So fuck it. But basically, I'm going to assume.
Did you check it at any point? Do you know what it was at?
I'm pretty sure it was a yes.
Okay.
The yes to Kevin Smith stinks. And I agree. So just as we're getting ready to wrap up, I've got all your links and stuff plugged down below. Andy, what have you got coming up that people should be checking out for?
Thanks. Yeah, we're doing an episode about George Santos on Nick Fuentes' podcast on Tuesday at 8. And then next Monday at 7, I'm hosting the episode of the Edge Files. I think, which is I do it with Cayley and Luigi Greenberg
Do you?
every other Monday.
Do you do it with her?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
But it's behind the paywall. So
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and I did an episode speaking of the behind the paywall, Hughes and I did an episode this morning about GTS Wrestling, which is a backyard wrestling serialized YouTube show that is hilarious. It's so bad it's good kind of show, would you say, Hughes? It was.
Yeah, and I just realized that I was looking at updated episodes, and they've got a lot more budget in it, and they're doing like cage matches and shit. So we have to start checking that out.
Yeah. So that's for our $3 tier on our members only YouTube and Patreon. Check that out with Nelly. Always fun to have in the mix. And Gummy Chainsaw was on as well. So allapologiespodcast.com.
There you go. And Christian, what have you got coming up that we should be looking out for?
Well, we've got a couple more big episodes of Who Are These Broadcasters this year. Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. You've both been on in the past, and I'm sure that I'll trick you into coming on again in the future. And this is an interesting era because that show could be nothing but Nick Fuentes clips if I wanted it to, but I think that I'd end up on some kind of list because man, that guy is on fire right now, and boy does he have jokes about people being on fire. But we also had episode 666 of my personal podcast, the BladtCast, BladtCast, and I went almost 3 hours. We have a cameo appearance from my favorite demon, Hack Ride. So if that doesn't turn you off, please head over to the BladtCast, BladtCast, to celebrate episode 666. It's what Jesus would want.
It is. And Jesus will return in Kevin Smith's Dogma 2, which will be his next release. I want to thank everybody for coming on. We've almost done 2 hours. Jesus fucking Christ. See, also in Dogma 2. The poll just came up. It was 52% yes, Kevin Smith stinks. And he does stink, and he's a cunt, and that's from personal experience. So thanks, everybody, for coming on. I'm dying to run for a piss. And we'll do a big bye-bye, everybody.
And if you leave me now, you take away the biggest part of me. Ooh, baby, please don't go.